James, a massive shout out for giving me some of your time and coming on my channel. It was great to chat to you in your pre-match show. So if anybody hasn't seen it, I'm going to link it below. James hosts the Wednesday Till I Die podcast. James, thanks for your time, mate. It's good to have you here.
Yeah, no problem. It's always good to chat to you. I'm sure. Well, I was hoping that I'll be coming on and talking about some good form and a chance that Sheffield Wednesday might have. But instead, I'm coming on and talking about a freshly relegated Sheffield Wednesday instead, which is not great.
No, credit to you for giving me your time and still putting yourself out there and you've kept your content going all season. Before we talk about football, I want to just put it out there because you've kept going and you've been through, as a football club and a football fan, it must have been one of the toughest seasons. It must have been hell.
Well, it is hell. It's still going on. You know, we've had the news recently, as of yesterday, that the takeover has collapsed. So that's not happening anymore. James Board, the Dunfermline boss or owner, that's all fallen through. So we've kind of feels like we've wasted the last 60, 65 days, or however long it's been since the preferred bidder had been chosen. So it's not great at the moment. But look, it's a weird one from a footballing perspective and from a fan perspective. Yeah, it's just one thing after another, one negative thing after something else. But when you're talking about like the content and stuff, there's always something to talk about. There's not one day that goes by without there being some breaking news that happens, which, like I said, I wish we were talking about different things and more positive things at the moment. But there's lots and lots to talk about every single day. You do your notes and then 10 minutes before you go live, you have to redo them all because something else has happened and it's kind of out of date, it's just how things have been moving at the moment.
Yeah, it must have been so draining on you. I think as a creator creating content, it can become a bit of a drain. Like we're in a moment where we're winning games and it is loads of form, but no matter when you're talking and you're absorbing like football and the emotion that goes with it, and then everyone else is feeling an emotion, it's a quite a lonely place to be sometimes being a content creator, isn't it?
I'll tell you what. Doing a watch along for the Norwich game last night was a very, very lonely place. 2-0 down at half time. Yeah, it just wasn't. It wasn't good at all. We'd had one. I think we'd had one shot in the first half. That wasn't even on target either. And then you look at you're picking up injuries left, right, and centre, and players have gone off at half time. The centre back pairing is just fresh out of year 11 at school. I think they're that young. It's just that was tough. Having to talk about 22 footballers just passing the ball around aimlessly was very difficult. But look, it is. I'm just hoping that there's going to be better times ahead. You have to go through these times. I'm putting it down, Martin, as character building. That's what I'm going to call it. It's just character building.
Yeah, results have been obviously they've been really poor. When was it? I'm just looking back through now, and I'm looking. When was the last point that it picked up? Was that at Watford? Well, you had a point since Watford.
No,
we
Hull.
Yeah,
we had a 2-2 draw against Hull on Boxing Day. We had a 0-0 draw against Blackburn the week after. So 2 draws in a row. And then we've gone on a horrible run of 11 straight defeats, 12 if you include the Brentford defeat in the cup. I mean, we also went 10 games without even scoring a goal either. You look through those. 3-0 Preston, 3-0 QPR, 1-0 Portsmouth, sorry for swearing, 2-0 Birmingham, 2-0 Bristol, 1-0 Wrexham, 1-0 Blackburn, 4-0 Swansea, and then it took to playing Millwall and the return of Barry Bannon for us to actually score a goal. Obviously, we scored in the Steel City derby at the weekend. I was there in that away end. That was tough, conceding in the first minute in your Steel City derby, and then 2-0 down at half time. Like I said, we managed to score in that one. And then it's another 2-0 defeat last night against Norwich, which wasn't ideal. The average scoreline is about 2-0. So that's what generally happens. We don't score goals. We don't even have many shots. It's just getting worse and worse and worse, Martin, at the moment. And it's a sorry state.
You just want the season done, don't you? I bet you just want the season done.
I wanted the season done before we'd even kicked a ball, mate. Honestly, we knew we were down from the beginning. I wasn't really that bothered about the first 5 or 10 games because I thought that kind of siege mentality would come through, and we'd not played, we'd not been paying the players and things like that. So I think there was a real togetherness at the start of the season, and and all right, we'd not had a pre-season. That was all kind of fractured, and I don't think we played any pre-season games either. But I thought that would. I wasn't worried about those games at the start. Obviously, they still weren't brilliant in terms of the points that we picked up and stuff. I was really concerned around about Christmas time, and obviously we've come out from the other side of Christmas, and yeah, the form's just got worse and worse and worse. We're just not. We're lost of any ideas. I think teams just know how to play against us because we play the same every single week, and that's not because of a lack of creativity or anything. That's just purely a lack of players that we've got at our disposal. Yeah. You choose to play any sort of system, and we just don't have the players at our disposal. You look at, right, we'll play a long ball and have a target man. Well, we ain't got a target man to do that. You say, right, we're going to play down the wings, and only up until recently we have actually signed some tricky wingers. Joel and Darla. We've signed Silcott Dewberry as well, who've one on a loan and one on a free transfer. I mean, I'm not going to put all my eggs in one basket in him and think he's going to light it all up. But they both have got a bit of pace about them, so that we can perhaps play with a bit more width and a bit more expansive. But then you look at the back, and Liam Cooper comes in and he's out for the rest of the season. We've got two young lads playing centre back yesterday who, like I said, 19 and 20 years old, and both making the debuts this season. It's really, really tough at the moment. Like I said, I wanted the season to end before it even begun, to be fair, this season.
Yeah, and I guess just the big thing now is trying to find a buyer to take the club forward. Obviously, you spoke about the potential takeover at the top of the show. I guess there's other interested parties. Where are they at with finding new ownership, a buyer for the football club, James?
Well, everything's moving really quickly at the moment. James Board was the kind of poker player or former poker player that was interested. There was three people as well. Felix Roma, who owns Gamdon, one of the crypto gambling companies, and then there was Faisal bin Jamil, I think his name was a Jordanian, member of the Jordanian royal family. But yeah, they'd actually bidded £47.8 million for the football club, which is absolutely ridiculous because the club is not worth half of that, to be honest. So that was never ever going to go through. I don't really know what their motive was for doing that, and maybe we have kind of dodged a bullet somewhat with not having them as owners. And yeah, that was yesterday. That was like, as we sit down to record this, just over 24 hours ago when that was announced. And then since then we've got David Storch, who's an American businessman. I think he's got I want to say he's got a baseball team and an ice hockey team as well over in the States. So he knows about sport. He's kind of part of a consortium as well. And then we've got Mike Ashley as well, who everyone will know, obviously from his time at Newcastle. Both of those were sniffing around at the time, when the preferred bidder was announced. So, and they're both still there now. And I think there's others as well. Like I said, it's fast moving. I think there's another name that the name eludes me at the moment. Like I said, the landscape is changing dramatically all of the time, and I just want it sorted sooner rather than later.
Yeah, quickly,
We're playing League One football next season. We need a massive overhaul in the squad. We don't have any players at the moment. We've got restrictions put on us because we're obviously in administration. There's 9 weeks until the end of the season. Then we're into pre-season there.
It's not long.
No, exactly.
It's just not long.
And then we've got probably 12 weeks before the season starts. So you've got like 20 weeks or so until we start playing football once again. We needed the best possible opportunity to get a squad together that can compete in League One. The squad we have at the moment just isn't good enough at all. It's not even League One standard. So we need a lot of players to come in, and that takes time. And then there's that 3-letter word called gel, which people use all the time. The players have got to gel. Yeah, of course it does. Yeah. So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm not concerned about next season already, which I know is mad because we're only in February, but there's a lot of things that have to be sorted out and happen before we can actually start winning football games again.
Yeah, it's a big few months, and I hope it works out, James, and it all comes together. And looking ahead to the game at the weekend, you talk about a young squad. Are there any players to look out for? Is there anybody you say, look, Martin, they're an up and coming player that you think could go on and do great things? You've got a lot of young players in the squad.
Yeah, we have got a hell of a lot of young players. It's a totally different side to the one that played you at your place. Whenever that was, all the games seem to merge into one. It's just another game that we lost in this season. Just add it to the list. In terms of players to watch, Joel Ndala, he's tricky. He's a player that you might know from his time at Hull. He's come from Man City. He's come to us on loan. Like I said, he was at Hull for the first part of the season. Then he went back and we've took him on. He's good. He's very tricky. Less said about his defensive qualities, the better. He was the one that gave the ball away in the first minute in the Steel City derby, and they went on to score. So not great in that regards. But going forward, yeah, he has got a bit of pace about him, something that we're severely lacking. So he's one that can keep an eye at number 21 if people are looking. Adaramola, his left back, is another one we brought in on loan from Palace in January. Again, he's got a bit of pace about him. I think I'm going to say the same about Ndala, really, in terms of defensively, not fantastic, but I think we're not really that bothered about defending at the moment. We just want to see shots and stuff like that and have something to cheer about. We know we're going to lose the games, and then it's probably another loan player. Actually, I'll say another one. Will Granger. He came on for 5 minutes. He's only 17 years old. Just turned 17 as well. He's in the Wales international setup. In their youth setup. He's been picked up by them. He's a player that should have been playing more minutes. Certainly in the situation that we're in. He did. He played about 5 minutes at the end of the game against Norwich. Be interesting to see whether he gets a little bit more game time. And he certainly looks a lot older. He looks young, but the way he plays football, he plays with a mature head on his shoulders, and it's someone that I'm quite excited for next season. If he does stay and he is part of Sheffield Wednesday in League One, that could be a good start for him.
Yeah, no, thank you, James. I really appreciate it. Just hope that everything does work out. Score prediction for the weekend. I know you've been conceding a lot of goals. You would have seen Southampton's result. You saw our result midweek. We spoke about it on your show earlier on. Saints winning 5-0 against Queen's Park Rangers and an emphatic victory. How do you feel about playing the Saints this weekend?
Well, one thing I do want to say is that Martin came on my channel and he said, I'll be fair. I'm not going to be too harsh. So I'll say a 3-0 win. And I was like, is that being kind? A 3-0 win being kind? But I probably have to agree with you, to be honest. I'm going to give you 2 score predictions because my head is saying it is going to be an absolute hammering. We haven't had that many hammerings this season, surprisingly. There's been, I think there has been a 5-0 against Coventry. They were the best team that we'd seen at Hillsborough this season, to be honest. But all the other games, we tend to keep it quite tight. And I said that, and we've been 2-0 down in the last 2 games at half time. But we tend to get to half time at 0-0, and then we just fade and fade quite dramatically. The other teams start bringing players on, and we just really struggle because the starting 11's not good enough. You look at the bench, and it is the under 21s that are out there. So yeah, like my head is saying it's going to be. I probably have to agree with you. The 3-0, the kind 3-0, and my heart is saying that I can't see us winning the game, but maybe we can just halt the slide of 11 straight defeats and somehow miraculously get a draw, frustrate you. I don't know, maybe a red card. That helped us in the Steel City derby. You never know what's going to happen, and we might be able to sneak a 0-0 or a 1-1, and we'll probably celebrate as if we've won the FA Cup, to be honest.
You talk about that red card. Just before you go, Calvin Phillips playing in the Championship down the road. It was not a very nice tackle, was it?
No, I mean, I didn't really see it at the time because it's at the other end of the pitch where I was, and I was right down low in that away end. And when I've watched it back, I mean, I've seen people saying that it's just to follow through. What is he supposed to do? But what he's not supposed to do is just rake your studs straight down from the knee down to the shin. It did look like he kind of gone for him, and I get that. It's football at the end of the day. This is what happens, But yeah, it was just a red card. I had nothing else to say on the matter, really. It's a red card. Yeah. He got a red card. He apologised. He got sent off. I don't think really, there's nothing else much to say on that, to be honest. Although they were at it again last night with a bit of diving, looking for a penalty, but they lost 2-1. So,
yeah,
c'est la vie.
take that, c'est la vie. It's been great to have you on, James. I look forward to the content post-match. Where can we find your post-match content this weekend, by the way? Just let the viewers know, because a lot of us tune into the opposition's post-match. Would there be anything Saturday, or was it more Sunday for you?
We'll be Sunday nights, 8 o'clock. Myself and Matt will be probably crying as we normally do every week after another defeat. So we're live on YouTube. It's the Wednesday Till I Die podcast, so you can find us there. And like I said, Sunday at 8 o'clock.